All right. So as we finish up Proverbs, I don't just want to talk about what it says. I want to make sure we understand what it means correctly. Because throughout this series and some of my other videos and shorts, I've said this over and over. If we misunderstand scripture, especially not use it in the right context, then we'll misapply the message. And Proverbs isn't a book of promises. It's a book of wisdom. It's showing patterns, principles, how life generally works when you live in alignment with wisdom. And these final Proverbs, 23 through 31, they bring all of that together. Just a quick side note, Proverbs 31 isn't about a woman, it's wisdom personified. So just think about that. As you read these chapters of Proverbs, you will notice something. They're not giving you formulas for success. They're showing you patterns of a wise life. For example, Proverbs 24 and 16 says, "The righteous falls 7 times and rises again." That's not perfection, that's consistency. If you live with discipline, things tend to go better. If you control your words, relationships tend to be healthier. If you walk in humility, you keep growing. Not always perfectly, not instantly, but consistently over time. That's how Proverbs is meant to be read. Everything we've talked about in this series shows up again here: self control, speech, humility, integrity. But now, instead of just hearing the instruction, we're seeing the type of person it creates. Because Proverbs is less about isolated choices and more about forming a consistent character. Consistency is key. Proverbs 25:28 says, "A person without self control is like a city broken into and left without walls." Now let's get back to Proverbs 31. Very interesting passage. Arguably, at least in my opinion, one of the most misunderstood passages in the entire book. I've heard this interpreted different ways. Many people assume it's only about a woman, but in reality, it's a portrait of wisdom personified. Just think about that. When we read it in context of the final chapters, it shows us what a life shaped by wisdom truly looks like. And that was very interesting when I was doing my research. I'm like, that's definitely a different way of looking at it. Some treat it like a checklist or an impossible standard, but that's not the point. Proverbs 31 isn't describing a specific person, it's illustrating what wisdom looks like in action. A life shaped by wisdom shows up as someone who is disciplined, trustworthy, hardworking, wise in speech, and strong in character. And when we see it in the context of the whole book, it makes perfect sense. Remember, earlier Proverbs personify wisdom as a woman. So here we're not just reading about an individual, we're seeing the full picture of wisdom lived out. It's not about perfection, it's about formation. A life built over time through wise choices. Did you hear that? A life built over time through wise choices. So when we step back and look at Proverbs as a whole, it's not giving guarantees, it's not giving quick fixes. It's shaping how we think, how we act, and ultimately who we become. From the first proverb to the last, it's been pointing to this. Wisdom isn't just something you learn, it's something we live. And if you interpret Proverbs correctly, you won't walk away thinking, if I do this, everything will go perfectly. You'll walk away understanding, if I live wisely, I become the kind of person who can navigate life well. That's the goal. So, as we close this series, here's the challenge: don't just read Proverbs, don't just agree with it, live it. Pick one area of your life, your habits, your words, your attitude, and apply wisdom there. Because over time, that's what shapes your character. So, again, over time, that's what shapes your character. Thank you for staying with me on this series, my March Proverb series. I'll be going into my next series. I'm Had a few things in mind starting from Genesis, so stay tuned. Go back and read, look at the videos and shorts covering this series. I think you'll find them most interesting, and let me know some of your thoughts. Please feel free to comment, like, share, subscribe, all of that. Thank you again, and until the next time.